Let's see. I need the notes for this, so excuse me. I don't have the notes up here. That's right. Okay. No? Fun. One of these days, I will learn how to get notes working in Google Slides. And it'll be great. So we're going to present that. Sorry. Really? All right, so basically, we're not good. Humans aren't good at doing things that are repetitive or programmatic. Robots are better at it, so automation is key. When it comes to open source interactions, don't think of me. Don't think of the implementation detail. Don't think of centralized control or implicit, right? Like it's not granted to anybody in particular. And don't make too many assumptions, right? Assume that collaboration needs to happen. Decentralization, again, going back to that asynchronous communication, right? Like it has to be somewhat decentralized. And then everybody kind of has like a seat at the table. So shared theories are important in open source interactions. When you think of functionality and code, think more to docs, tests, interactions, releases, security, right? Like it's more in depth than just a function and the code itself. You have to think of the entire software package, including user experience. So it's very human. Open source contributions are very human. Again, the code of conduct, be good to people. Mutual respect is a prerequisite. Again, read the code of conduct. All right, let's get a change into the project. I believe this is George, right?
Two left. Cool. That.
Buttons actually work as.
All right, everybody. Hello, I'm George. It's fine. It's all good. So we're going to talk about what it takes to get a change into a project. Who's heard the term drive-by contributions? Do you know what that means? Anyone not know what that means? It's okay. It's fine. So the idea there, like, hi, who are you? I'm George. I'm a Kubernetes contributor. Every day I wake up at 9 a.m. and I work on Kubernetes from 9 to 9 or whatever, right? A drive-by contribution we talk about, let's say you're hanging out, you have a problem at work or something, and then you find a little piece of code on GitHub or something and you're like, oh, this is perfect for me, but there's like one little thing that is busted. So while you're there, you just submit a pull request. You're not involved with that project. You just saw something, you saw an issue, and you just do a contribution, right? You're not ready to name your child after the project or anything like that or be involved. But so we call contributions like that drive-by contributions, right? Where it's like, hey, I'm here, this is useful for me, here's my contribution, see you later, So we call those drive-by contributions. Unfortunately for a project like Kubernetes, because it's kind of large and complex, those tend to be a lot more complicated than you think versus like finding your cool little JavaScript library thing that you just do a small PR and then that's done. Because at Kubernetes, we're not just looking for a drive-by contribution, but like as Chris was alluding to earlier, you can't just like fix a little bit of code, right? You need to make sure the tests still pass and does this apply, Does this fit with the design of what, this part of the software is supposed to do? There's an interesting bit I want you to remember and write this down so you can Google this. Do space shuttle Kubernetes in Google? What does that come up? Does that come up with a thing? So there's a famous file in Kubernetes that is written in what they call like NASA style, which is very like, and they say, do not attempt to simplify this code. It's written like this for a reason. And it's really, really well commented on why they wrote that piece of code that way. And it's just like a very interesting thing where it's like, oh, if you were a drive-by contributor and you saw that, right? And you were like, oh, I think I could simplify this, I can make this better. But if you're not paying attention to the context of that entire file, right? They specifically say, do not try to simplify this file. There's a reason we're doing it this way. So don't just like, drive by and try to fix it. So I always thought that's one of my most cool, like, link you saw in Hacker News one day. So I believe if you do not try to simplify this file in Kubernetes, it should show up or something like that. So, so let's say your goal is to get a change into the project. So I am actually going to inverse the bullets here. Presence of meetings, Slack, and mailing lists is where I would actually go first. I think a lot of, how many of you are open source developers already and are just here to learn how Kubernetes does things, right? So in a lot of projects, right, you might be like, oh, there's a low-hanging fruit or whatever, I'll do a pull request, and then they accept it or whatever. Because Kubernetes is so large and complicated, unfortunately, I've seen a few times, especially back in the early days, we're doing a better job now where they would show up with code first and then not realize that a SIG had a plan to address that issue and stuff like that. And then everybody gets sad because we can't accept your code, and then they wasted a bunch of time. You know what I mean? Don't think that because this is an open source project that you have to show up with code first. Right? Like you don't have to prove anything to anybody. So what I would recommend is just show up, listen to meetings. Usually people kind of have like an idea of what they want to do. And then you could say, oh, okay, now I can look at the issues in GitHub and get context on what they want to do. And a lot of new contributors that say, okay, I think I'm going to try to fix this bug with this thing. Let me link up with a mentor at that SIG at the next meeting and say, hey, this is the approach I want to take. What do people think? You'll get a plus. Minus, there might be people who wrote that code initially or whatever, and that will end up just saving you a bunch of time because there's nothing sadder than writing stuff that we can't use. And a lot of this stuff is like thinking of, if I was a reviewer, what would I want a pull request to be like? Like nobody likes when someone does a pull request, and the body of the pull request is like the template. Like everybody hates that. So, you know, proactive communication, especially being involved with the SIG, is like really important here. That's the one thing I want you to remember. Like don't try to like code or fix something in a vacuum. I tend to over ask actually, in a way. So it's like, hey, I was going to approach this in about 2 weeks. I'm going to do a PR, and then there's no surprises, right? They're like, oh, I remember George brought this up to meeting. We had consensus. People thumbs up. Yeah, that's good. Maybe do it this way. Maybe do it that way. So that can really help kind of grease the wheels for you. So when you show up with your PR, like there's no surprises. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I remember this. No brainer. So the reviewable code itself, I want to say this is advanced common sense, but like imagine that you're the person reviewing the code. Your first PR should be like a 35-page, 35,000. Like if it says double XL at any point in the labels, it's like, oh no, I'm scared. So I always try to do little things that are well documented. Make it really easy for the reviewer to say yes, as opposed to, can you imagine if you got a huge diff as a pull request? It's like, oh, I got to pull the thing, I got to build this, and then now I have to check all these tests. It's just too big. So something that's digestible and is communicated well. And then on the slides, there's some tips here that we have from places that you can check out. So yeah. Sorry, this is way too complicated for me. Oh no, I'm doing this. Yes. So how do I say this without saying this is all common sense? Because if you don't know this, you don't know. So yeah, I mean, the decentralized consensus forming, I think, is what I want to talk about here in this part. Is Kubernetes kind of has a concept of what we call lazy consensus, where let's say I have an idea and we are the group, and I say, I have an idea, I want to fix foo by doing bar and baz. Jeremy, what do you think? If he doesn't say no, and most of you don't say no, I can just do it, because no one said no, right? We never want to mire the project. You saw in the Kubernetes values about velocity and all that kind of stuff. Like, we never want to nitpick something to death so that it ends up being like, well, I had a project, I had a PR, but I wasn't able to get explicit consensus for people, and then you get kind of like depressed because your PR sits there and things like that. That's one thing I wish I could have told myself in the future. Be like, hey, if no one explicitly says no, right, and you're acting within the means of like the design or the KEP you're working on or the issue, rock on with your bad self and then just, keep going. Just keep talking about stuff. And then for Kubernetes itself, did we do this section on release? I might have stepped out on something's an alpha, and then it's one release, then it's a beta, and then release. Okay, we'll talk about that later. I don't think you need that here. All right. But wait, there's more. Hold on, am I supposed to say something here? Okay, so that was pretty abstract. What about specifics? All right, so this is the one page I have bookmarked on my actual bookmarks toolbar on on my browser. So this is the Kubernetes Git workflow. When you go to the Kubernetes contributor guide, and this will all be the slides and the links, there's a link to this page. And this page not only has a diagram, but at the bottom of the page, it has step-by-steps on how to do each of these steps. So I wake up in the morning and someone has assigned me something and I say, I'm gonna do a pull request. I literally come to this page, I read it all, and then I kind of check, okay, first thing I'm gonna do, make sure that my local thing is synced with the upstream repo. Awesome. Next, I'm gonna make a branch. Then I'm gonna make my changes. I'm gonna test them, check out all this stuff, make sure it works locally. Then I'm gonna push to my GitHub Castro.jo namespace, make sure all that works, and then I'll do a pull request, and then I'll repeat the process. So this is a really, really great diagram. I think I've been working here like 2 years, and I still depend on this every single day, every time I do a pull request. And it just helps keep me out of trouble. It reminds me on how the branching thing works. But it's not this huge, long slog that you have to go through. It's just a nice, handy guide. You know, when you're like, oh, you see something, and then you're like, I think I could fix this on the spot, but then you're like, do I want to go through all the workflow issues? This is light enough where you can almost just do a pull request on the spot, and it's really useful. I use this a lot. So the quick steps on how it goes. Let me just go through a quick pull request. I don't know, let's say you go today, you go back to your hotel room and you're like, oh, this contributor guide, they say it's pretty great. And you're reading through it and you find a bunch of mistakes or things that don't make sense or some kind of improvement, right? So what you would do is pull the repo, you would clone it, you would submit a pull request. You'll add labels and notes. So a lot of the things that he mentioned, usually I find 90% of the time, the bot kind of figures stuff out, right? If you check out and you do a pull request on a certain directory of code, we know who belongs to that and it will assign the right reviewer, and all that kind of good stuff. So generally speaking, I just kind of look at the labels and I kind of make, does this make sense? Or like it'd be weird if you're doing a pull request to, I don't know, Minikube or something and it adds like a cube admin label or something. So generally I just, I do my pull request, I'll sit there and I'll leave the thing open. The bot will do, you don't even have to hit F5 in your browser in GitHub, right? It'll say, oh, I'm gonna assign these people. And then it looks like the bot's talking to itself for a little bit. But you see it actually applying the labels. And then I start to pay attention to the labels. I say, okay, SIG something, that means a SIG is gonna be in charge of doing this pull request. And at the end, it'll kind of assign somebody or it'll put it in a general queue. So then what happens is SIG owners, so someone like me, let's say you were doing the contributor guide, you were doing the fix, I'm an approver or whatever. It would show up in my queue, I wake up one day and then my little thing would say, oh, there's a pull request. So I go there and I look at it, I look at the changes, looks good to me, I look at the labels, it says you've signed the CLA so I don't have to sweat anything. And you're looking for two things when you're doing a pull request. Your LGTM, did they tell you what LGTM means? Oh, wow, that's awesome. What time is it? It's like 2 o'clock, we still haven't told you what it is. So we're really terrible at this. Well, we'll tell you a bunch of terms and not tell you the definition. LGTM means looks good to me. That's a way of me saying this looks good to me. SGTM means sound good to me. So someone would be like, is this a good idea? And you'd be like, SGTM. But not verbally, that'd be weird. So I look at it and I go, this looks good to me. So I'll do /LGTM. Most contributors in that area you can always look at something and feel free to review it, right? So let's say Jeremy happened to be looking in the PR request and he says, oh, this is interesting to me, and he sees it and he looks at it and goes, that looks good to me too. He just does /LGTM. It never hurts to have multiple people kind of say, yeah, thumbs up, that looks good to me. Then it sits in a cube, and then this is actually kind of out of order. I don't like that. Whatever. Ignore line 6. You'll do an LGTM first, and then at some point, an approver, who is a group of people who are responsible for that directory's worth of code, there's a little file called owners. Did someone explain owners files yet? All right. So it'll randomly say who's in this owners file and, is not on vacation mode in GitHub, right? And then I'll get a little ping that would say, hey, ready. I'll sit there and I'll look at the PR, and then I'll see, okay, sweet, Jeremy already LGTM, 2 other people LGTM, sweet. I do /approve, and what that is kind of like the final stamp, right? So depending on where you are and what you're responsible for, I have /approve in certain parts of Kubernetes, and I have no powers in other parts of Kubernetes, right? So I'm not an engineer, so I can't /approve an API machinery, because that'd be crazy, right? But there are certain other parts where I can just approve all day. So that's really kind of how we break up the immensity of the code base. It's like whatever you're contributing to, there's going to be a little step. You'll get LGTMs, and then you'll get approve. After we hit /approve, a bot will complain about you about what tests you failed. If it's like your first one in the community repo, there's a test that checks the actual spelling. So if you did the contributor guide and you misspelled committee, like I always do, it fails the test. Then I have to go back and fix it. As in, you have to fix a thing. You can't flunk the test. I already tried that. So I was like, why are we checking on spelling? Whatever. So it'll tell you whether you pass the test or not, right? And then you fix it. You do another push, and then you could say /retest. Or it might be if you're actually working on a piece of code, sometimes it might take multiple minutes or hours for stuff to run. And you just watch your PR, and then a thing will come back, say, yay, your tests are back, either pass, failed. And all of these things, the Kubernetes bot, in the text, it actually tells you what step you're in. So I use that information to kind of remember where I am on that thing. And then the test pass at some point after I fix my spelling errors. And then we have a thing called tide that will merge the PR. Humans don't merge anything. The bot just does it. And it's kind of cool. If it's your very first one, hit the screenshot button when you get that and tweet it. It's really awesome when you get your first thing merged. So you might see these in GitHub comments, people tapping /approve /LGTM. You can do /honk. I think /puppies gives you a puppy. There's a few funny joke ones or whatever. Yeah, so all of these commands are in this URL, which are really handy. There was a new label I found out. Did you know about this one, squash? Did you find it, the squash label? You can tag something squash and it'll squash all your things together automatically. It's really nice. So that's how that works. Anyone have questions about these? Has anyone done a PR here already for Kubernetes? No? All right, cool. So in that channel, Sick Contributor Experience, what I do is I try once a week to find something that is really, really easy, and then I'll file an issue, and I'll tag it with all the right tags. And then if you want, we can hop on a Zoom, and I'll talk you through our thing, and then it's very fun. We'll take a screenshot at the end. So we're always willing to help you if you're I tried it the first time I went through that Git workflow thing. I was confused because previous place I worked slightly different, and these kind of things. So if you always ever want to actually live do your first PR, I can definitely help you with that if I have time. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, and then you look in the queue. There at any given point, there's about 1,000 open pull requests on Kubernetes /Kubernetes. That's not even counting the rest of the stuff. So there are tons of PRs everywhere. So these are some useful ones. /assign at someone you hate is always really good. No, just kidding. So sometimes I get assigned something and it might not be my specific area. I'll be like, oh, I need Chris to look at this instead. I'll /assign it, it'll get assigned to somebody else. Retest, like we said, if you mess up the spelling error and you fix it, you do /retest and the bot will retest it for you. /closing a PR is an obvious one. /CC I use a lot. Usually that means, oh, this is really good. I'm doing my commands, but I wonder what these people think. So I might say something like, this PR looks really great. However, I notice that you're not using the Oxford comma and we're supposed to. So /CC Mr. Bobby tables or something. I don't know if we actually have a style guide. Did they tell you we have a style guide for stuff? All right, so we have one. I don't know what their standard is on the Oxford comma. That was just an example. So yeah, and there's some fun things in there, but that bot command thing is really useful. And then all the text that the bot says, that's also available in GitHub. So in the old days, not as much now, if you're like, wow, the bot told me something, but I was really confused. You can always give that team feedback so they can improve that text so that it's better for everybody. Yeah, so this is what the bot looks like. It's Kate's CI robot. It used to be called FadaBot or something, but that's insider knowledge you don't want to care about. So things that are important here, it's the person who approved it, and at the bottom it says, needs approval from an approver in each of these files, and then actually tells you the owner's file of the person that's in. This can be important. I'm not going to lie, sometimes we get really behind on PRs. Some of them have been open for entirely way too long, and it's embarrassing, and we're doing our best to help it. However, let's say you're doing a kube admin and you do owners, and it gets assigned to George Castro, right? And then you don't hear from George Castro. Oh no, he's taking a picture, not this hat. All right, just kidding. So let's say you're pinging me on Slack, you're like, hey, you got assigned to this pull request. I'm like, hey, I'm traveling, I'm on the road, I'm on vacation, I can't get to it. You can always go to the owner's file of that of the thing that you're working on, and there'll be a list of GitHub handles, you know? So you might say, oh, I'm kind of getting impatient, so /assign and then just pick someone from that list. I do tend to cheat. If I really need a review, I'll go into Slack, or I'll bring it up at a SIGs meeting, because it's easier to ask someone for help like if I have 100 open things and I don't have time to review them all, I'm like doing the best I can. But like, if you actually remind me in person, it's like, hey, can you really help me out with this review? I was literally doing a review when I was sitting here, because we're all busy. Sometimes people just need, just give us a ping. There's #PR-reviews in Slack as well, where a bunch of experienced Kubernetes developers just hang out. If you're totally lost, if you've tried to talk to the SIG, you're not getting the reviews you want, or it feels like you're just being ignored in your PR, you can always go in there, and there's people there who will help you move forward a little bit, right? So that's what the bot looks like. It's pretty cool. Attaching a SIG label. This, like I was saying before, if you're in an obvious area, sometimes it's obvious what belongs to what SIG, but sometimes it's not, so I might ask in Slack. If I don't know, sometimes I just leave it unlabeled and ask somebody. And then at some point, the bot or somebody will bug you that it's not assigned someone, and it will make someone assign it. So that's good. But yeah, definitely attending a SIG meeting is good, especially before you actually do the PR is always great. I tell people, it's like, introduce yourself, So like, it'd be really great if you're in a meeting and you introduce yourself, and then that way, when you do your PR, I remember you. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this person was really into this. Oh great, she's really getting involved. Awesome. So that's really good, and we're always looking to try to help there. And each SIG has lists as well where you can check and that kind of stuff. And owners files, you will find them in every directory there. That's mostly contact information as well. So this is the test results I was talking to you about. So when you do your pull request, it will run a bunch of tests somewhere. If you click through the link, it says details link, you'll actually get the test results, which is really handy. Because I was like, what test could I possibly be failing? I'm writing a markdown file. And then I clicked all the way through, and it was like spelling error. So that's when it became more obvious to me. How am I doing on time? When are we supposed to be done? Oh, okay, all right, sweet. So click through. It's your typical plain text, Unix-looking stuff. Read the logs, and it will tell you what to do. And there's links to the dashboards and all that kind of handy stuff there. PRs and bots following up. Yes, so this might seem weird, and I really hate this dichotomy, but you're trying to get a PR, and then you finally get a reviewer's attention. They find a little nitpick, and then they go away, and you don't see them for weeks. And you're like, no, I missed my shot. So one thing I try to tell people, especially if it's your early PRs and stuff, try to be responsive. Try to, usually I will tell people, hey, when are you going to do your PR? Ping me on Slack so I know right away, and I'll tell you when I'm doing a review. So if I find little things, you could just fix them on the spot, and we don't have this long feedback loop. So that's always handy there. Oh, okay, good. Am I talking too fast? I'm working on that. I've been told I talk way too fast. Okay, cool. All right. Have you all seen this yet, the contributor ladder? Okay, awesome. So these are the kind of levels. I don't want to say levels because there's this person isn't better than this person because they're an approver and not, different responsibilities. So there's non-member contributors, right? So remember how I talked about drive-bys and stuff? You might want to say, I want to contribute to Kubernetes, but I don't want a commitment, right? It's like, I don't want a commitment. I want to say I work on Kubernetes. I don't want to have to go up here and give classes and stuff. So that's fine. You could just do non-member contributors and stuff as you want. No one's going to treat you any differently. You could just PR, and that's something, when they show that number and they say 32,000 people have contributed to Kubernetes, most of them are these kind of people. So they're not member contributors. A member is an active contributor to the project. So, yes, so there's a metric. Should I open? Oh, I can't use a Mac. So there's actually a page that tells you all the different levels here. So I'll just go over the basic ones. Yeah, we don't have to go into every detail. So being a member means you've actually applied to become a Kubernetes member. You have to sign the code of conduct, you have to sign the CLA, and then you have to show active contributions. There's a number, I forget, sustained. I don't know, we try to keep it low barrier. There's about, 700, 800 members? Something like that. And you'll see them in GitHub when they leave a comment. It will say member next to their name or something like that. And that's pretty cool. That's where I started. I became a member. Usually I tell people, hey, welcome. And then I say, what's your deal? And then they go, well, I'm just kind of here to do it on the side. No big deal. Fine. What about you? Well, I'm starting in a new company. I'm going to be the Kubernetes person there. I want to be actively involved. I want to speak at KubeCon someday. I want to do that stuff. Member's kind of like the first step to getting you there, right? It kind of says, I'm ready to do it. Reviewer gives you the /LGTM powers I was talking about, and generally speaking, and these are on the page that we'll send out all the links to. It will actually tell you, we're expecting you to have done X amount of PRs, X amount of this, foobar baz, like that. So you're a reviewer, and you'll be assigned a reviewer, and you'll be that's the first time you'll be put in an owner's file, which is kind of a cool thing. You should screenshot that or whatever. That's when you're like, okay, one of my first contributions was the contributor's guide, right? So it's like my first big thing after becoming a member was be the person who's going to review incoming changes to the contributor's guide. So Gwen and I kind of paired up on that, and that's how that became our thing. And then after that, we have approver, where you're actually like the final say to say, yes, I'm going to be the person that lets this. After this, the bot is the one that's merging it, right? So again, that criteria is there. You've been around for a while now. You're a trusted member. Everybody knows who you are at that point, kind of thing. So, approver. It's all in the same owner's file. There'll be a reviewers : a list of GitHub names, and approvers : and a list of names. And then sub-project owner would be like you're actually in charge of something. So that might be kubeadmin if you're in SIG cluster lifecycle. For me, the communications sub-project, I think I'm on. I don't even know which ones I'm running. It's crazy. So that's when you're actually responsible for a part of Kubernetes itself. And what we do like to see is kind of a growth area there, depending on what you want to do, right? If your goal is to become the Kubernetes person or whatever, at some point you're going to want to be a sub-project owner. Also, there are so many things happening in Kubernetes and so many projects, and it's so vast that you might be approver on some things one month, and next month you decide, okay, I need to bear back, so I'm going to remove myself from this place. What we do like to see here is a little mentorship. So that's why we have things like this, so you can kind of share tips with each other and stuff, so that when it's your 5th year in doing the contributor guide and you want to take a break so you can do something else, there's someone there to take your place. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always kind of on the lookout when I see new people and they're members. After a while, I was like, hey, you've done a bunch of pull requests. Are you a Kubernetes org member yet? And then they might want to, or they might not. No harm, no foul if you don't want to be, but just something I ask. So this is cool. So we talk about the ladder a lot. When you hear us at Contributor Experience, we're like, what is our main job at KubeCon, right? It's to grow the contributor ladder, right? For those of you that want to be involved this way. And, no pressure. If you're happy doing a pull request every once in a while, that's cool too. So, so this was her first PR. And the bot will tell you, I need a Kubernetes member to verify that this is a reasonable test, blah, blah, blah. But that's what that looks like. Like I said, the bot is pretty self-explanatory. In fact, it might be too verbose. So, and all the stuff I talked about is here. Did you send them the slides already, or are we sending the slides at the end of the day? Okay, so in the email, it will have this link there. So that will tell you, it'll tell you the criteria, the kind of what we're expecting, that sort of thing. It's really handy to have. And we decided to just put excerpts of that page in here. Yeah, so this basically is everything I just said. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. So these YAML files spring throughout the repos, sure. So there are owners files, and the way it works is you look, let's say you check out the core Kubernetes code base, you go into any directory, there's a little owners file. When you go up a directory, right, the level of responsibility increases until you get to owners at root of Kubernetes, right? And at that point, we don't like to have individual people there, buses involved, right? So in an owners file, it might say at, and then a group name or something. That means that not one individual is in charge of that. It's all group-based. So over the past few years, we've been ensuring there's no bus factors, right? Because when I first started, you look into owners and someone manually added me and stuff. We don't do stuff like that anymore. We put things into groups and we use GitHub orgs and ACLs and all that good stuff. So usually when in doubt, if I'm ever in something and I get lost, I look at the owners file for that directory and then I just find that person in Slack and then it's like, hey, am I doing this right or whatever. So there's that. And now we're going to do the contributor playground, which is, this is a little area where we mirrored all the workflow I just talked about with GitHub. So you can try it without having to like be nervous about messing up the Kubernetes. Like, we're not going to ask you to fix spelling errors in Kubernetes. Kubernetes is your first thing. So this playground is a safe place. You can make as many mistakes as you want. And the entire thing for you to here is to get practice on learning how to branch, how to submit. The bot does the things that it says it's going to do, that stuff. So we didn't have this when I was around, but I would have loved to have been able to like mess up a bunch of times before like doing my first real PR to the project. So we can work on that one. Who's doing this? Yeah, because, yeah. Okay. You want me to get someone? Okay. All right, any questions? Anything I talked about? Sweet. Okay, thanks for listening. Awesome.
George, one thing. Did you want to tell everybody how you can buy shoes with Kubernetes?
Ooh, yeah. I'm making an effort to have every piece of wardrobe I have be involved Kubernetes at some point. So you can buy sneakers from StockX.com, which Mario's here, and their entire infrastructure is on Kubernetes. So Kubernetes helped me buy these Air Jordans. You just go online, you go to StockX, you put how much you want to pay, and it's like this little indexy thing. It's really cool. Yeah.
So I can talk to it a little bit. StockX is a marketplace for things, but they do like shoes like Jordans and like urban brands like Supreme. You can buy stuff like that through there. So, but it's all. Oh, here you go.
But as CNCF ambassadors, we don't condone any vendor over another.
No. But like if you want Air Jordans and you want to buy them with Kubernetes, that is the one we know for certain. Yeah. No, I'm good. So this is another fun repo that we're going to try and clone. Has everybody done that? Yeah. Why don't you? Do one there, George. Like if you want to do that, that'd be great, and I can talk through it. You want to see it, or you want to do it? Take your pick, or do you want to do both? Would that be distracting? Who wants to see George do it and me talk through it? Raise your hand. All right. No. There's only 3 people. Who wants to just do it themselves? Nobody. Okay. How about both? Oh, wow. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, right there. You got USB-C power, or you got something else? Okay.
Does that work? Can you see that?
Yep. All right, that is George's Fedora box? No? What is you running?
So just to prove I'm not lying, here's literally Kate's Git workflow.
Do you want the mic?
Oh my God. No, it's fine. You talk.
So there's nothing on this screen, just your desktop.
Oh.
No, you're fine. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, there it is. Yay, stuff. Okay. Perfect. Can you see it? Do you know what? Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. So, fork the thingy. Well, no, where are you going?
Okay.
Make that bigger, please. Wait, what? You want me to tell you the steps? You can't Alt-Tab or whatever in your fancy little Linux box? There you go. Right below contributor ladder. Keep going. There you go. That guy. Yeah. Yay, Wi-Fi. Oh, shit. Is anybody good at humming the Jeopardy theme? Okay, cool. You can do it. Oh, you're fine. It's going to be right there, like right with your activity overview. So you contributed to, and then, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, if there was only a GitHub person here. Oh well. So George is cloning his fork, pulling it down locally at a whopping 200 gigabit, no, kilobits, sorry. Yeah, it's fine. To the playground? I don't think that would have. Why do we have the contributor playground? Well, because it was really hard to actually like treat people, with kindness and let them play, kind of and screw up in the main repos. So this is here as a demonstration on how to, manage Git repos, add remotes, add an upstream remote. So you would have your origin as your fork, and then the upstream of your fork is the actual Kubernetes contributor playground. So you can then submit PRs from your origin on GitHub to the upstream. I forget. I don't memorize anything. Doors here, Kubernetes SIGs. Give it a whirl. Okay, so as you see, he's got his origin, which is George's own fork, and then the remote, which is the Kubernetes SIG contributor playground, the one you forked from. Next. So, right. So git, remote, add. The clicker's not hooked up. Sorry, so if you look at origin, you see how it says Castro JO versus Kubernetes SIGs. The upstream, so open source project, is everybody familiar with upstream and downstream? That's like actually something we should probably ask routinely.
Yeah, I can do that. So think of it like a river. Upstream is where the river starts, and then downstream is us. In this context, Kubernetes is the upstream, and then my branch of the thing I'm going to do is downstream of that is a direction. So another common example would be, any of you use Linux or understand what Linux is? A Linux distribution, right, will take a bit of software, let's say Kubernetes, and Kubernetes is the upstream, and the downstream would be Red Hat or Ubuntu or whoever in this case. So that's where we talk about workflow. It's like kind of a direction there. No, it is downstream because I've taken the source of truth, which is the Kubernetes repo, and I click the fork button, right? So now I am now downstream of that. If I'm smart, I want to keep pushing stuff upstream so the diff isn't that big because that gets complicated, right? Or I could choose, that's the whole power of open source. You're like, I'm starting on this thing, and then I'm going to call it and do a whole bunch of other stuff. No harm, no foul. At some point, you would say, oh, okay, his thing isn't upstream of that anymore, right? Does that answer everyone's question? I don't want to confuse anybody anymore. Good? Okay.
Thank you, George. As always. Copy pasta time. Are you ready? Yeah. I don't know. I forget. What is the next command, everybody? Anybody? No? Don't know? Okay. I don't. Alt-tab, buddy. I think you're adding San Diego to it. Oh, it already exists? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm making a change.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say.
There you go. So he is making a new branch, which if you're not familiar is a exec copy, but you can manipulate it and then merge it into the quote master branch later with your edits. Where you can merge them, you can force merge them if you want to hate people. Get checkout dash B, yeah, sorry. So yeah, you have master branch is typically the main branch, and then he just, when he created it, it automatically switched to the new branch, which is, like I said, an exact clone. But now George can make changes to it without affecting his master branch. Yeah, you can be an approver and a reviewer.
Yes, however,
You can't do both.
consider it bad form to like slash LGTM.
Yeah, don't do it to yourself. If you right. Yeah, and I'm not shy about pinging people that are approvers, like if it's been sitting for a few days, because I don't want my stuff to get too far out of sync either. Yeah, I mean, anything. Just 14. No, 15. No, who cares? 15. 15 is my favorite number, so there you go. Hello. Yep. Does everybody know how to use Vim? Okay, good. So now George will write a commit. And now he's going to make a message. As you see, he's leaving his. This is a human readable message to just describe what you are changing. And as you notice, George has his Git configured to do sign-offs and probably sign. Yeah. Yeah. So I do the same thing for work. I don't think it's enforced too heavily at Red Hat, but whatever. So now he is. Yeah, you have to set a place to push for your origin. So once you push the branch, it is now in GitHub. So now you can Alt-Tab over to GitHub, and oh, look at that. Yeah, you've got something you can actually make a PR out of. So you can do your compare and PR, or compare and pull request. And there's your message, all the changes. Do you want the mic? Right, like be very, very, very specific about what you're doing. So George is saying, it's like if you're adding a feature, it's like yeah. If you're adding a feature, you'd be like, as a user, right, like I would like to be able to do X, so I have added this feature.
I love it when people add extra metadata.
Yeah. So if you have an issue and you're using GitHub, you can just do a hashtag sign, and it'll be like, hey, put in a number, and it'll assign the issue number and create the link automatically. So if you go look at that issue, you'll see commits to it as well. All right, so look, George hit submit, and hey, look, Kate CI bot is here. Hey, what do we need to have happen here? Oh, we need an approver, because George has already done the CLA, and it's already requested a review from Rael, who actually was supposed to be here, but he's sick with the flu. You can assign it to me, I think, and I'll just approve it right here. Look at this.
Don't even bother. Look what they kind of went out of order, but whatever. You saw someone LGTM in a few days. Now I'm going to wait. So you see that? I'm not even refreshing. Stuff is happening.
Right.
And then
the joys of...
not mergeable means approve LGTM labels. We'll just wait for it to be here. And then it will...
Yeah, the CI isn't always instantaneous because Kubernetes is a huge project.
It is pretty good, though. Like, there are times
it is slick. You can actually click the details and see what it's waiting on.
Yeah.
So this is Prow, right? Yeah, so Prow opens up. Prow is an open source tool. I forget what it stands for. PR something worker. Yeah, I don't know. But it's basically a tool to manage pull requests automatically.
CLA.
Yeah, so...
My labels are set.
Yep.
Notice that it set labels.
Right, so it did it automatically, right? So sometimes you don't even need to set the labels. It'll do it for you. No, go back to the thingy and no conflicts requested.
Next thing we'll see the merge will come.
Yep. So Kate's CI robot, because remember, nothing in Kate's is merged by hand. It's all automatic. So Kate's CI robot will come and actually merge it upstream as well. So it'll label your stuff. It'll tell you what's waiting, what needs to be done, and it will merge your code for you, all right there in your pull request. You don't have to go anywhere else. It's all going to be right there on the screen.
Yeah, so that's contributor. Sorry, should have be cognizant of the video. So that's a contributor playground. Feel free to fork it, do all sorts of stuff. It was really useful. It would have been useful for me to like get all that anxiety out of the way of doing my first Kubernetes thing. Cause what if I misspell my name? It's like this crazy stuff. So definitely take advantage of that. Oh, here, I can unplug.
If you want.
Yeah, I'm done.
Go back.
I think I'm done.
What do you want me to take? You want me to take this and then that? Good?
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
I know. You happy? No. Ladies and gentlemen, George Castro.
We're a bit disorganized today. I found out I was doing this about 20 minutes before.
Yeah, so let's give you, can we give full context here, right? Like, I wasn't able to start helping out until about a month ago. Riel was leading the project, the new contributor workshop. He got the flu last week. He actually was restricted from traveling. So, yeah, that's when Gwen took over as the lead last week, and here we all are. So, yay, get your flu shots. All right, pushing forward. So, questions? Yes.
Approvers list. I was in the approvers list, and the thing automatically approved it by myself. Is that typically allowed to approve your own thing? Like, I didn't do anything, but the bot, someone set up the room, and they put us all into the approvers list. And the bot said...
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Oh, yeah, so here you go.
Oh, no, answer him.
Oh, okay, so I think we put everybody in the owner's file. Not typical, no, that's not a typical use case. So if you are your own reviewer and approver, like George said, if you're in an owner's file as a reviewer and approver, it is bad form to do all three things yourself. Don't submit the PR and review the PR and approve the PR. That's basically doing it by hand at that point. So yeah, you need, if you're doing the PR, wait for somebody else to review it, wait for somebody else to approve it, unless they're like, just go ahead and do it, But normally, if you're in the owner's file, you'll know when to do what. Like, you will have an established, like, cadence and pattern within that SIG for that, use case. Any other things you want to ask me? Questions? Cool. There we go. So we are supposed to break now for 35 minutes. Please feel free to sit tight and make sure your stuff's working. If we want to shorten the break and push forward, we can. That's y'all's call. I tasked Jeremy with getting consensus. I'm tired. Does anybody want to take a break now, or do you want to just keep pushing? Or keep playing and then push in like 15 minutes? Keep playing for 15 minutes? Okay, I'll check back in 15. So who in here needs CLA signed as an issue? CLA, anybody in here? Maybe it's next door.
Here that CLA was sent out months ago,
Oh.
and the CLA, like the contract that signed, is outdated. The thing doesn't exist anymore,
okay.
but it's not possible to reset it. The way here is so
The service desk?
service desk.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm supposed to check in with everybody right now. Everybody having fun? Playground? Any issues? Are we ready to push forward, or do we want to continue playgrounding? Just one question. You got it? Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let's see. All right, if everybody wants to look at the screen real quick. Let's see. Add room 14. I'm looking at a PR right now through my profile. As you can see, Kate Spot's run. It's given a joke. I've added an LGTM and an approved. Wait, approved did not happen. What went wrong? Authorized needs approved label. Oh, what happened? Nope. I just added that. No, fine, be that way. Oh, conflict. All right, so there's a conflict with this branch. Only those with right access to this repository can merge pull requests. So did somebody submit a... Oh, there's a patch. Okay. Anyways, if there is a merge conflict, you have to resolve that merge conflict before KateSpot will continue. Normally, this is a needs rebase. I'm not sure what's going on here. Nope. Cool, that's helpful, GitHub, thanks. Well, no, because it would flag as rebase, so there's probably some... Oh, there was 150 commits thing here. All right, so let's push forward. Is everybody cool with that?